Saturday, I was following the news of the shooting in Norway and the explosion in Norway, which happened, on Friday?
Yeah, the explosion was, and then we left the air, and
right,
and then he went to, the camp.
Yeah, well, when we heard the explosion, everybody was willing to say, it's Muslim extremists! It's Muslim extremists! I don't think we made a comment on it because we didn't know, other than there was a bombing that happened. And as the thing started to unfold, and then there was a shooting at a political camp, which sounds a little like, the Hitler Youth or whatever. I mean, who does a camp for kids that's all about politics? Disturbing. But anyway, so there's this political camp, and some crazy man goes and starts shooting kids. We were just talking in the break about how devastating this news in Oslo is. 93 dead. Mainly children. Now, one thing that you have to take into account is in Norway, at least on this island, no one had a firearm. No one. This guy walked onto this island with a firearm. No one else had one. No one could stop him. No one had one. Remember what I said a couple of weeks ago? The police cannot prevent a crime. They can only come in and investigate what happened. Occasionally, if they happen to be there, yes. That's why in Newark, New Jersey, they're saying if you own a pizza shop and you want to be open after 9 o'clock, you have to hire a policeman, an armed guard, to be able to have your business open. Because that way somebody can protect you. Excuse me? I have a right to protect myself. Nobody had a firearm. Nobody could stop this madman. 93 people later, he stopped. Takes the police. How long did it take him? 90 minutes?
Yeah, 90 minutes to respond.
90 minutes this was going on. These kids were swimming across the lake trying to get help. Neighbors were coming and getting in their boats and going and rowing across the water to be able to grab these kids out. This guy was an absolute and total monster. A monster. As much as maybe it's just me. I would never send my kids to a Republican summer camp. Never in a million years would I send my kids to a Republican Party summer camp. What are you, nuts? That's what this thing was. A Labor Party summer camp. I don't know why you would send your kids to that. I see that, my problem with, the Nazi youth is that was a party. The Nazis were the National Socialist Party. Is Europe not going to learn? Stop with the parties. Stop indoctrinating your kids with the parties. But as much as I don't want to send my kids to a Labor Party or a Republican Party or an Obama summer camp, whatever it is, I'm not going to send my kids there. But can you imagine the monster that it takes to say, the best way to stop this is to kill all the children? Monster. Man. Total and complete monster. So don't listen to anyone who says that, first of all, left and right in Europe is different. Remember that. They had kings. What changed in America is we got off the king track. We said, no, there's not a ruler over man. Man is the king. And so left and right was bigger government was the left. No government was the extreme on the right. So fascist, communist is the extreme left, and no government is the extreme right in America. The progressives have tried to confuse us and take you out of control and take you out of, no government. That's ridiculous. No government, limited government, please. And try to bring us back onto that European model of fascist and communist being left and right. They're still there. This guy, if he's a hard right guy, it doesn't mean the same as it does here. And don't let anybody try to fool you on that.
No, and of course the left is going to attempt to pin this on the Tea Parties or so which of course is expected. But I mean I don't remember the last time I was at a tea party and I heard them talking about Freemasonry. It's not the typical focus, or you know how much the Tea Parties just absolutely love isolationism. And, this guy was arguing very much for isolationism against free trade,
right.
Which is obviously, I mean, you're talking about libertarians. You're talking about the free trade and capitalism. And he was, in his manifesto video, talking about the evils of global capitalism. I mean, it's the sort of thing that, while he did say a lot of stuff about, terrorists that, that you might expect to hear from someone in the American right wing, there's extraordinary amounts of difference as well. And, of course, that will be lost on the media.
Of course it will be.
Intentionally. Not like it's not happening intentionally.
I mean, I've read someplace that he was a religious zealot.
Oh, yeah. He said in his own writings in the manifesto that I do not consider myself a religious person or something like that. It's not an exact quote, but it's pretty close.
No, he's a religious zealot.
No, he said himself, his
words. Not just
words.
Religious, but Christian.
No, he said in his
right-wing
words,
Christian.
I do not consider myself a particularly religious person.
No, but he was.
Yeah, he's a Christian. He's a Christian zealot.
I read it over the weekend.
I read it too, that he's a Christian, a white, right-wing Christian zealot.
Yeah.
That's not what he says he is. I mean, now, I don't necessarily trust him.
What does he know about what he is?
Well,
seriously, what does he know?
I don't find him to be a trustworthy individual, but I will say that he advertised this incident, this awful mass murder terrorist attack, as his marketing plan for this manifesto. That's what he says. It was his marketing plan for this manifesto. And of course, unfortunately, as we know, this works. When you go out and you do this, people do look at your crazy rantings and berate them and use them for their own political points, unfortunately. But the point here is that that's not what this is about. We've said this over and over again when left-wing people have done horrible things like this. We've said it over and over again. You can't blame Harry Reid because someone who has a similar viewpoint in one particular area decides to go kill somebody. And it's just got nothing to do with it. It has to do with that person and their maniacal loss of perspective on life.
Mm.
He also plagiarized
Ted Kaczynski.
Yeah,
if you're going to plagiarize somebody, what better person than the Unabomber to just really get some good ideas from? And when you're going to write a screed or a manifesto, I think immediately you think Ted Kaczynski.
How much do I copy from Ted Kaczynski?
Yeah, it's just a matter of how much. Whether the whole thing or just about half.
The great thing too is he went in there and he just like Control F and searched for the word like leftist and then just replaced it with Muslims. Like he just went in there and just...
Did he really?
Yeah, he just replaced
multiculturalism and Muslims.
Yeah, he just replaced multiculturalism over like political correctness or something. Like he just filled in words. I mean, and of course, the Unabombers is the same thing. They tried to blame that on right wing, and you look at it and it's very environmentalist. It's bizarre. You can't assign these normal values to these abnormal people.
No,
you just can't do it.
He wanted a change in society, and from his perspective, he needed to force it through a revolution. He wished to attack society and the structure of society. I don't have anything in common with that. Do you? I don't want a revolution. Nope. I don't want to attack the structure of society.
Nope.
His mother, I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to find out where it is. But I can't find where his mother, who was a liberal, sent him to sent him to prostitutes to help him become a man.
I feel like I saw that story maybe on the Blaze or something. Could be wrong on that, but I did see a headline on that. Didn't get to the story. But it's typical.
He said, "We, the free indigenous peoples of Europe, hereby declare a preemptive war on all cultural, Marxist, multiculturalist elites of Western Europe. We know who you are, where you live, and we are coming for you. We are in the process of flagging every single multiculturalist traitor in Western Europe. You will be punished for your treasonous acts against Europe and Europeans." In the manifesto, he says in 2002 in London, a group of what he calls the New Knights Templar were formed. The New Knights Templar. So what he's calling for are literal crusades. That, I guess, is where you get the Christian element. But if you're calling for crusades, may I ask how you're also pro-Israel?
Yeah, he's not really pro-Israel. No. He's anti-Islam.
He's anti-Muslim.
He's anti-Muslim. He's anti-Islam. And,
and there's a huge difference. Pro-Israel and anti-Muslim, there is a huge, huge difference there. If you're pro-Israel and pro-Jewish, there's also a very big difference there. And that is something that we need to find. You need to be able to answer this question. Are you pro-Israel? Yes or no? If the answer is yes, good. Are you pro-Jewish? Yes or no? If the answer is yes, you go to the next one. Are you pro-human? Yes or no? If you can answer all three of those things, yes, you're on the right side. If you answer those things no, you might want to reevaluate. But you have to answer all three. I'm pro-Israel, I am pro-Jewish, and I am pro-human, which means if the Jewish people in Israel were practicing genocide, which they're not, I then lose my support for Israel and the Jewish people because they're practicing genocide, and I'm pro-human first. If somebody is Islam is saying, hey, I just want to coexist and I just want to live next door as peaceful neighbors, I'm cool with that because I'm pro-human. Somebody starts to erase somebody, I'm against them. Somebody starts to a campaign to end somebody's way of life, I'm against them. I am pro-Israel, I am pro-Jewish, and I am pro-human. Make sure that you understand that, because there are going to be a lot of people that come out and say, I'm pro-Israel, or I'm anti-Israel, but I'm pro-Jewish. Mm-hmm. And why are you pro-Jewish again? Why are you pro-Israel again? What is your... Why are you anti-Israel? Where's the depth on that one? Where does it go? I guarantee you, many people, pro and con, it really will come down to anti-Semitism one way or another. You have to be prepared and know what you believe. Because the old hatreds, as I told you last fall in a monologue where I warned against this very thing and said it was coming to Europe, and specifically the Netherlands. Look out, it's coming. This is going to spread. And you must be pro-human, along with pro-Jewish and pro-Israel, because it's coming under attack. Pro-Israel is not the same as anti-Muslim.